Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Intellectual Podcast, where we're adding just a little dash of nuance to the polarizing conversations of the internet.
Yes, we
there
are.
There you go. I'm Jem.
And I'm Renee.
And we're your hosts one more time. And this little episode is going to be quite the little episode.
Yeah,
and we are...
She's a little itty bitty.
I don't like that, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's going to be chill. It's going to be casual. We're doing a little Q&A. Why?
Yes.
Why are we doing a little Q&A, Renee? Tell me.
Because we're burnt out.
Damn. Are you really? Are you okay?
No.
I feel like our work schedule is designed with burnout in mind, which is why it is the way that it is.
No, because our last episode we were talking about how we were taking it easy a little bit these past couple weeks.
Renee's tired.
Post couples therapy, blah blah blah. But we now when we're recording this, a month or two months ago, maybe almost.
It was on the 19th, so like 2 weeks ago. Wait, no, that was August.
Yeah.
September, October. Oh, yeah.
A month and a half ago, we did a podcast party with our friends to celebrate our podcast as starting it in the first place. And also because that week we had released our 10th episode, and that is a big milestone in the podcast world.
Yes,
most people do not get to the 10th episode.
I know. We're almost on our 20th. Isn't
I know,
that crazy?
already. Time flies when you're having fun.
A little bit.
Yeah, truly. But during that little party, we had put out a little bowl and asked our guests what they thought we should talk about on the podcast, and we had them write it down and give that to us. And we thought we would put that to use a little bit today and kind of jump around with some fun topics that our friends gave us that they thought we should talk about, and just kind of have some fun with it. Keep it light, not too deep, even though that's, the name of our game.
We'll try to keep it to 2 sentences or less.
Right,
concise
exactly.
as possible.
Yeah, which is honestly a test for us.
Yeah, no, this
is
a challenge for sure.
We're actually...
How concise can you make yourself?
Right.
Think about what you're going to say. Form your opinion. Look, I'm being long-winded right now as we speak.
I know, I'm stressed out with this as we're speaking about it.
We can do it.
We're going to make it happen.
Hey, let's get it. We can make it happen.
I always like giving reference to Jem's
I don't hate it as much as
your
I
double
used
life.
To. Yeah, my night job.
Yeah, exactly.
I moonlight as a TikTok chef,
I feel like you moonlight as a podcaster.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I feel like it's the opposite. Like in the day, you are...
It just sounds better to say I moonlight as whatever I'm talking about, because I'm podcasting right now.
Oh, this is true. This is true. You're currently doing your moonlighting.
I moonlight as a podcast. Yeah,
currently moonlighting.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. It's whatever.
But anyways, we thought this would be kind of fun to kind of, jump around a little bit and also kind of gauge what could be more fun for us to go into depth in later episodes and whatnot. Yeah.
So without further ado, no crazy intro, no crazy segue.
Yeah, we're really just going to get right into it.
And, whatever happens, happens. Let's start
All right.
the roll. Shuffle
Drum
them
roll.
up. Let's go.
Oh, we're shuffling.
Chicka.
This is stressing me out.
Everything stresses you out. So I don't know how much I care about that anymore, to be honest.
Honestly, you really should not prioritize not stressing me out when I say you're stressing me out, because it is true.
That's crazy.
Okay, that should be enough. I'm not a good shuffler, so...
I mean, they're also fat cards.
Yeah,
they're not a deck of cards,
They're like the thick, I don't know.
Post-it shit.
Yeah.
Cut in half. All weird. All right. But it's all good. Let's see. First question.
Right. First question that we have. Oh, this is actually a perfect first one to start with. I didn't even intend to do it.
Let's get it.
What was your first time smoking weed like?
Very chill.
Very chill.
Very chill.
How old were you?
Falling asleep.
Where were you?
I think I was 20.
Okay.
Pretty late in the game, because weed is a huge thing in my family.
Yeah.
And it caused a lot of problems in my family. So I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
And then, it's just around. So you smoke it. And it was like, I don't get what the hype is about.
What was the form that you smoked it in the first time?
I want to say a blunt, like usual. I think it was at a party, actually. I was drunk and I was like, so this is what being high feels like.
Yes. Yeah.
I could do without it. Yeah. I was a stoner for a little bit, actually.
Really?
I was like a hardcore stoner because I was drinking too much alcohol, and I was like, I'm over this. I'm tired of drinking. I don't want to be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Let me just like go heavy into the weed, right?
Sure.
And then I felt my memory starting to get affected.
Yeah.
Like really quickly. So I was like, wait, no, I like my brain.
Right.
So
went back to the alcohol.
Yeah. I don't really care about my liver, to be honest. Right. But my brain, that's my bread and butter, man. That's all I have.
Right. So. Like that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Honestly, fair. As you should. You should draw the line at your brain. That really is all that's you.
Yeah. Even though your liver is like way more important. But go on. That's neither here nor there. It's
fine. My first time was with my also late bloomer college boyfriend. I probably was 18 years old.
Oh, the first one.
And,
The first one.
Yeah. 18 years old. And we were in like the college dorms, and he had taken me to like behind a building, like under these trees and bushes.
Why was it such a secret?
Sit outside. Because I think he wanted to go, like he had a place on campus that he would go smoke outside. And it was a spot, and it was so like unnecessary in hindsight.
Sounds hella sketchy.
Like we did not need to go to, like it was literally like under the cover of like these bushes or whatever. Anyways, and it was a bong, and I just inhaled way too much, and it completely just destroyed my throat.
Damn.
And I was really upset. I'm realizing now, because we so for the audience, we shuffled through these questions before we started. The horrible story I was thinking of was actually like the second or third time I smoked weed. And it was actually smoking. I took an edible with the same boyfriend and took way too much, and had like the worst, like that sort of panic attack where I literally felt like my heart was sinking into the universe, like a Get Out situation. Like I literally lost my mind.
That is rough.
I was like, like if you've ever been way too high, like you know what that feels. It is literally the worst feeling ever. It is absolutely horrible. So yeah. I'm not a smoker. I'm not really a big weed person either.
Clearly.
I'm like,
that alone immediately.
That gave me like not a great experience. And also when I smoke weed, like I pass out. Like I can't, like I have friends who are like. I'm a
sleeper for sure.
I can't be a social smoker.
Yeah, smoking, and then they get like super introspective and stuff. No, not me.
No, not me.
I am like, that's me on alcohol. Me on weed.
Yeah. I'm a dud.
Huh?
I'm a dud.
Yeah, for sure. Peace out. Sleeping.
Yeah. Exactly like that.
Like 4 minutes in.
Literally. All right. Next question. Wow, this is a complete switch up.
Let's hear it.
Can love really conquer all?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Absolutely. Love 100%
Really?
in every capacity is never enough.
If anything is like the statement is love is not the end all be all. It's not everything. You know? Sometimes it doesn't take just love, which is actually what we talked about in our episode about Nadine and Christine on couples therapy.
Oh, yeah.
How love is not enough.
Love is not enough sometimes.
Exactly.
Love is like the bare minimum. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Right. We're trying to not go into detail. Trying to not go into the specifics. Oh my gosh. All right. This is a fun one. Astrology and astrological signs. What is our honest opinion about astrological compatibility? What do you think? First of all, what is your sign? Tell everyone. What's your sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
Do you know
you couldn't tell by now, I am 100% a Capricorn.
Yeah. Do you know your moon and rising?
I do.
Say it.
Rising is Leo. Moon is Cancer.
Ooh.
A very balanced chart. One of the perfect combinations
Love
in the
that for
zodiac.
you.
Me too. It's really nice.
Yeah. It's very fitting.
I get the logic of the Capricorn, the emotionality of a Cancer, and the confidence of a Leo.
Wow.
Like, what? Is that not perfect?
It's only wins for you. Only wins.
That's kind of like my life right now. So
wow. Okay.
dub on dub on dub. W. Yay. Fuck it up. Ooh.
For sure.
Go ahead, Renee. What are yours?
Oh yes, I am. I am a Libra sun. My birthday is coming up. For everyone, if you guys want to celebrate me, let me know. Hit me up. I'll invite you.
She won't. If they don't, she
No,
won't.
I won't. Yeah, Libra sun and a Leo moon and rising. So double Leo, which I actually for a lot of my life since I knew about astrology, I didn't know that I was a Leo rising. I thought I was a Cancer rising because I got my birth time wrong.
Damn.
So a couple years ago, I found out I was a double Leo moon and rising, and I was shooketh to the core. But that being said, do I actually believe in astrological compatibility? I lean towards like not using that as like the like a deal breaker for a relationship of getting into like if I find out someone's sign is something and I'm like really like vibing with them, when I was dating, I wasn't like, oh, I can already like assume this end or that about you. But I also don't know enough about like my extent of compatibility is looking up what signs are compatible with a Libra sun. Right. Like that's pretty my extent of it.
What are your top 3?
I think Aquarius. All I remember is Aquarius. I don't know the others. But
yeah, I definitely don't believe in the validity of astrology. I think it's just a fun pseudoscience like Myers-Briggs.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. This is a little glimpse into my mind. Because so many people care about it.
Yeah.
I go out of my way to anticipate what these people are so I can be what they think I should be.
Oh, why don't you just be you, Jem?
Because I was a younger boy at the time.
Oh,
and I did not care.
Got you.
It was a means to an end.
It was for sure. Well, we're honest. Yeah. I always, I don't know. I will talk about like, even like, you know, oh, he's a Virgo man, like he's horrible. I'll talk about it in a fun social way, but like in practicality, I'm not going to judge you based off of like your sign.
Like, on a macro level, a lot of the astrology stuff is accurate because they're generalities on about a large group of people. There's going to be people that align to that, right? But on an individual level, they don't account for how a person exists. Yeah. You can be an asshole Gemini and the best person on the planet and be a Gemini. There's no correlation. Right. But most leaders and CEOs are Capricorns. So
that kind of aligns with the Capricorn sign-esque situation. Good for you guys.
I mean, just
doing
saying.
Great. Doing great. I think a lot of celebrities are Leo risings. I think it's
or some Leo somewhere.
Yeah.
Because they're dramatic and attention seeking.
It's like a thing. Yeah. All right. Next question.
Does your significant other need to get along with your friends?
Yes. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No ifs, thans, or buts about it.
100%.
Your significant other should get along with your friend. It's a red flag if they don't get along with your friends. Your friends are the closest representation of who you are as a person. Said inversely, you are the embodiment of the 5 people closest to you, right?
Yes.
So if that's the case, then if they're not getting along with your friends, they're probably not going to get along with you, and you need to stop using the chemicals of your relationship to justify their red flagness.
Damn, boom. Tell them.
Concise.
Tell them. I don't have really much to say. I agree. That's it.
It is what it is.
Oh, should I do the next one? Oh, we're going to go back and forth now. Not? Okay, that's how we're going to do it. All right. The next question is, this is a fun one. Talk about which Avenger has the most emotional intelligence.
I have to remember who the Avengers are at this point. There's so many of them now.
Okay, so there's Captain
Iron
America.
Man, Captain America.
Thor.
Hulk. Definitely Hulk.
Hulk? You know what? There's also Black Widow.
She's hella traumatized. I don't know about all that.
Hawkeye.
She seems really avoidant.
Yeah.
We should do an episode where we're like assigning, what do you call it? Attachment styles to all the Avengers. That would be a fun little social media thing to do, right?
A little crossover moment.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. But yeah, Hawkeye.
I think what's a Scarlet Witch? Is she part of the Avengers or is she? Yeah,
she is. Not very emotionally intelligent. She's very.
No.
I mean, look what she did during WandaVision. That wasn't emotional.
No, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah, 100%.
The reason why I was like, maybe Hulk. I know because obviously he struggles with his emotions, but you think that would maybe make him more acutely aware because he gets triggered by his emotions.
How about we define emotional intelligence before we try to decide who has the most of it? Because being aware of your emotions and then being emotionally intelligent.
It could lead to emotional intelligence.
I think when he's Professor Hulk, he might be the most emotionally intelligent.
I think that's what I'm thinking.
Right, but is Bruce Banner the most He said, "You know what's my secret, Captain? I'm always angry."
Fair.
Sir?
I see.
You're what?
You're what? Say that again?
Like, wow.
Come again?
That could definitely be problematic.
Is Spider-Man a part of the Avengers?
Mm-hmm. He's definitely not emotionally
He's a child.
Yeah, literally a child. So not quite him. Wouldn't give that to him.
Yeah.
They don't have to be emotionally intelligent. They're Avengers.
Right.
So the most emotionally intelligent one is probably either Scarlet Witch, because she has to maintain her emotional state to be a spy, right? Mm-hmm. Or Nick Fury, because he's a super spy. He's a spy.
You mean Black Widow? Or do you actually mean Scarlet Witch?
Oh, yeah. I meant Black Widow.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, you combine your brain. I see what we did there. It's okay.
Black Widow.
Yeah.
Agent Romanoff.
Yes.
And or Nick Fury.
Ooh, but is he really part of the Avengers?
He's the leader-ish.
Yeah, no, this is true. And I would actually probably, that one I can agree with. He's probably the most emotionally intelligent for sure. Yeah. For sure.
I don't think you have to be emotionally intelligent to be a superhero.
No, that's not like required. No.
It should be.
You just have to have like a self-sacrificial. Oh, that too.
No, you don't. Because a lot of those guys don't have superpowers. And by a lot, I mean
so
Captain
maybe
America.
Self-sacrificial. You want to...
Hey, you know who actually became really emotionally intelligent? Doctor Strange.
You know what? Why did I forget about him?
Because,
I love Benedict Cumberbatch. No, I love Benedict Cumberbatch.
Me too. A little bit less than you do. I love him. Oh.
No, I
thought I did too, but not enough apparently. Whoa. For sure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good one too. He always,
because he definitely started really arrogant Tony Stark style,
right?
But his character arc was very for the people, by the people.
Yeah,
I need to be a better person.
Yeah,
so good for him.
True.
I think he had the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Doctor Strange, because he's actually an Avenger.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. I'm exhausted from dating apps and only meeting people at bars. How can I meet cute people? Go to where cute people are. Go to where you would, okay, let me take a step back. Do things and go to places where you would want to meet people. So if you are a big, you really enjoy working out, you're really active and you want to meet someone who's lives an active lifestyle like you, and you feel like you would have the same goals and whatnot as fellow active person, then I go to a gym, join classes, join local community teams or whatever, places and spaces where you're going to be sports and shit. Exactly. That you're going to be around people that are relatively peers who are interested in similar things as you, and do that. I think that's a fun way to do that, because then you already have something in common versus meeting at a bar, and what do you have in common? I guess drinking, and you have to learn. And we both like to get friggity fricked. Yeah, yikes. I know that was bad. I'm sorry. Yeah. I think also just being willing to approach people too in random settings. Right. I was about to say, there is no place that cute people are. There's cute people everywhere. You just have to have the gall to approach some people. Yeah. You never know. Your husband might be right next to you, standing at the grocery store right now. Yeah. Apparently in LA, Erewhon is a dating app in of itself. Yeah. And also, especially if you're in a big city, I know this person's from LA, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of under the radar, speed dating type couple mixers things that a lot of people go to that you can tap into. That's another thing. Also, dancing. Not clubbing, but actual dance. There's salsa night at places. Ooh. Go learn how to salsa. You're up close and personal with people, get to chatting, get to talking. Yeah. An easy way to meet people. That's really fun. Cute people are everywhere. There's no one place that cute people hang out. You just have to stop being scared of the cute people that you see everywhere. Yeah, 100%. Just be willing to talk and approach. I agree with this. All right, next one. Which, by the way, we didn't say hello to all the friends. I feel like there's some people that had written here that were at that party that might be listening to this episode. So I just want to say hello. Just and acknowledging that we love you. Thank you for thank you for the content. And we love you. Yeah, 100%. Awesome. Next question. How to grieve a situationship.
My initial answer is you don't, you move on, but that's really like harsh and
but also like true though.
It's true, but how you grieve a situationship is you look in the mirror and you really look at that like interaction that you have and realize that it's a situationship for a reason. They did not want to be with you. They did not want to commit with you enough. And that should be reason enough to want to move on. Yeah.
I think you have to figure out what you're actually grieving. I think the hardest thing about a situationship is that everything existed in your mind for so long that the pain you feel is self-inflicted for the most part. So what are you even really sad at? Are you sad that this person didn't want you? Are you sad that this interaction didn't become what you wanted it to be?
Yeah.
Are you sad that you're not good enough for this person? Like, like what are you upset about?
Yeah.
You have to figure out what you're upset about and then decide if it's something worth being upset about.
And usually for a situationship, it's not. And the long term,
for the most
right?
part, yeah.
Like if it's one of those situationships where it's like that person like was ultimately never going to commit to you, then being like, do I even want to like in the future pursue so hardcore someone and give someone so much like space and time in my brain who did not want to be with me versus going forth and finding someone who does, and just taking it as kind of like a lesson in that sense.
Or never put yourself in a situationship.
But if you do, because this person is grieving a situationship.
No, like in the sense that there are many steps to take in a situationship
to get to
so
it being
that
a situationship.
It's not a situationship anymore.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself in a situationship and you're interacting with a person that's being wishy-washy, you can make them less wishy-washy if you're willing to participate in the things that make them less wishy-washy. Most people don't want to do that because people have this like really wishful thinking, idealistic notion that people should love them for them and that if they should be enough and this happy fairy tale will be going on in their life. It's like, no, not necessarily. If you're probably in a situationship because you started this situation in a way that is less than ideal. So commit to the less than ideal nature of it.
Yeah. And also to like
getting
when people like half the time, okay, it being two things. You get in a situationship, those people who do that, they're maybe lying to themselves about not really wanting to be in a relationship, yet they're like engaging with someone who they deep down want to be with, and they're kind of putting up with it. And then kind of going into that of just not really advocating for yourself and kind of putting up with subpar behavior because you're like, well, it could be this, or, we have a really fun time together when we're together, or it's like great sex, but not really like be honest with yourself about you wanting more than like wanting a relationship with this person and advocate for yourself. So in the future, you could do preventative stuff when you're interacting and dating people so that it won't even become a situationship in the first place. Like you could have dipped out of that when at the first sign that the man didn't want to commit to you or the girl didn't want to commit to you.
Or just keep it as a hookup.
Right. Well, and I think people that genuinely don't really want a relationship never really end up in situationships because they're not seeing it as a trying to commit.
Yeah. Also, too, on that notion, I wonder if the person who's like, from the perspective of the person writing this, how much you actually want to commit to a person. Because if you're going after a person that isn't really going to commit to you, do you really want to be in a relationship? Maybe you got to check your own self.
Yeah.
Grieve that.
Grieve your old self.
Yeah. How about that for a change? Take some accountability. Stop being a victim.
Damn. Okay. For sure.
I'm not upset. I'm really not at all.
Okay. I'm really not.
Trust me, I'm not. First impressions. Oh my.
Yeah. There you go. You got it.
First impressions. Are they usually correct? And are they important? Are first impressions, are they correct? Yes or no?
But,
why? Elaborate. Go on.
Well, I want to give both my answers.
At the same time?
Yes, because I do think first impressions are important, but I don't think they're always correct. And I think that just depends on the person.
I actually believe the opposite.
Wow.
Yo. Yeah, no. I
think it's funny.
I think they're usually correct, but they're not that important. Because what you perceive as your first impression will give you a concept, perception of what this person is.
Yeah.
But they are more than their first impression.
Totally. 100%.
So, sure, your first impression is correct. Mm-hmm. Is it as important? Mm-hmm. Not all the time.
Yeah. I think I'm saying the opposite for relatively the same reason.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, they both can mean like literally, literally like it's not important or it's super important because of first impression matters, but like it's not correct because it changes. People are more than their first impressions.
Right. Exactly.
We are the opposite ends of the same coin, and that's okay.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And
I think we got to the same point.
Yeah, we did. We're like, I believe the exact opposite thing. Actually, and it's like we believe the exact same thing. We just worded it differently.
Yeah. But
yeah, and I think even like especially, and I don't know if this person's talking about it in that sense, but like in like a romantic sense, get to know the person. Yeah. I think it's always good. Like your first impression of a unless it's like really like horrible and like not good.
See, that was my thing too. Like, it really depends what the first impression is. Like, is your first impression of this person that they're a bigot?
Yeah, then, right. Maybe we keep it pushing.
How about we don't even try to find out if it's important or correct or not? Like, that's enough. That should be enough. That's enough for me.
Hopefully it's enough for you.
Yeah. Hopefully that's enough for you. Ooh,
oh my gosh.
Go off, queen.
Go off. All right. Next question. This person is asking advice on how people's opinion can affect your relationship and how to grow from it rather than letting it have an effect on you and your partner.
That is hard because I can already tell by the way that situation is worded.
Yeah.
The person's opinion that is being given is a person that matters. So no one cares about the opinions of people that don't matter, and if they do matter, it's really hard to separate a person's opinions from the relationship. Because usually, if they're close enough to if they're close enough that their opinion matters, they're close enough that their opinion is probably correct.
Yes, and I think that it depends on what the opinion is about the significant other. Right, like it kind of like it's like a little bit situational, or not situational, just like what the opinion is that's affecting the relationship, and like how much validity to take that, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Of just like, okay, you're in this relationship and you have like either maybe like say like a sibling or a close family friend that has something happened either between you and your partner or something your partner did or does that. Or maybe even just like an opinion on the relationship in general. Like those are all like different things that there's an opinion on, and also what exactly it is as well because I am always of the mind when someone is giving an opinion to really understand the perspective that they're coming from, because people really do come in with their own experiences and perspectives that's really informing the way that they're interpreting whatever situation they're interpreting in your relationship.
Right.
And yes, sometimes because they are your close person, there's like good standing to that and you need to hear it out and listen 100%. But, there are also situations where it doesn't necessarily need to be taken with so much weight because that person could be speaking from a fear of their own experience. And even though, you may know this person for years longer than your partner, you are the one interacting with your partner the most. So it's really taking that advice or that information, that opinion, and stewing over it a little bit and deciding, how important it is. I know that's not really like an answer, but for me, from like my point of view, it is a little bit like contextual.
That is an answer, first of all.
Okay.
Second of all, everything should be taken with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Only you can understand how a person's opinion applies to your situation. 1, 2, if a person's opinion that cares about you and that actually matters is bothering you, I think it's worth looking into.
Totally.
At the end of the day, like Renee said, you are the one in your relationship, and you have to learn how to separate the relationship you're participating in with the optics and the opinions of the external world, because a lot of people find themselves completely entangled with opinions on people that don't necessarily matter to the relationship. Why? Because only you and your partner matter to the relationship, and external opinions don't.
Yeah.
They don't. Even if they're correct, even if they're true, no matter what it is, like they don't matter that much unless something egregious is happening.
Right.
And you're like in a very toxic, problematic interaction.
Yeah.
If you're okay with what's going on, then you just have to be okay with what's going on. And if you want an opinion, then you're probably going to ask a question, inviting that opinion into the relationship for you to consider.
Yeah.
If you don't ask for it and people are just volunteering an opinion that is just an opinion, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
They're not as important as people try to make it. The people that give the opinions are important. The opinions that the people give are less important.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
you are the one that has to deal with your partner. Unless it's me giving you my opinion. Because it's usually correct. Is it wrong? No, my opinion is usually right. I have a 99.99% accuracy.
I'm dead.
You should listen to my opinion on things.
You should, but when it's my opinion, take a listen.
Most opinions need to be taken with a grain of salt, unless it's mine.
Okay, for sure.
Just saying. Yeah. You'll save yourself a lot of tragedy.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
My turn? Yeah, my turn.
Yeah.
How to know if someone is truly compatible? Horrible handwriting, by the way. Jesus Christ.
I think it was just the Sharpie, and they were writing kind of small.
How do you know if someone is truly compatible, and if and when is the right time to move on? How do you know when someone is compatible, and if and when it's the right time to move on? You can start. I have my opinions.
I'm trying to give it in like a concise way. I'm not sure that like.
Okay, well, I'll start while you concise yourself.
Okay.
The moment you have to ask this question is the moment that is the right time to move on. A lot of people find themselves in interactions and relationships that go on way longer than they should, and they shouldn't go on longer than your ability to participate in it. If you find yourself not committed to the participation and you have to contemplate and like really force yourself to be in a situation that you know deep down you don't want to be in, you owe it to yourself to move on. Why? Because it's not fair to you to put yourself in a relationship and give what is required in a relationship if you don't want to do that. And two, it's not fair for your partner because you're robbing them of the romantic ideal experience that you promised them by committing to them in the first place. So if you have to think about it, it's probably past that time, right? And then you can't know if you're truly compatible with someone because that's a retrospective question.
Totally.
No matter what, your answer will always be affected by the outcome of your interaction. If you die together, everyone and yourself will say that you guys were perfectly compatible. If you break up in 6 months, people will say you weren't compatible, and it's just kind of how it is. I think compatibility is created, and it's not a natural system. There's people that you align more with, and it's easier to create a relationship with. But no one is 100% born and truly compatible because that goes into the nature of like soulmates and stuff like that, which, you know, we had an entire episode about that.
Yeah.
So
we do not believe.
There's not a person that you're born to be with, but you can 100% learn to grow and be with anyone.
Yeah, 100%. And with that, I think that when asking yourself this, or at least like reflecting on the relationship that you're currently in, thinking about as the relationship is with this person and the direction that it's going, is that the life that I want to like live? Is this person that I'm with, is a potential life that we can create the life that I want? And kind of going back to, I had said this in a previous episode recently, and it's something that has really resonated with me. I've been talking about it a lot, like with my own boyfriend, Matt, about whether you have a shared purpose in life and whether you can create that shared purpose with this person. Because that's really what it's about, right? You create the relationship that you want, and you can, to make it like general, you can do that with anyone, it's really about like having a vision for the life that you want to lead, and seeing whether that person can complement that well and be along that journey with you, and without having to sacrifice themselves too much, without having you to sacrifice yourself too much.
If you're completely derailing your life purpose to be with a person, no, you're not compatible.
Yeah. Simple.
Easy answer.
Yeah.
And when's the right time to move on from that? Immediately.
Now.
Yesterday is too late.
Damn. Hurry.
You're already behind. Wait. Not
We're
to
late.
be really anxious, but yeah, that's all on that.
Yeah. All right. Next question. And my last one, my last card. So second to last question. I don't know why I'm giving all this preface.
Concise. Come on, ma'am.
Let's go. Okay. Question. How and when to talk about money, finances, what's fair, equal? I think from the jump, in some aspect, way or another, you should always be talking about finances, but the depth in which you talk about it just increases. It's like when you first start dating, you talk about your job, what you do, the things like the way that like what you like to do, where you like to go. You maybe will have some discussion since you guys are going on dates about like, oh, do we go 50-50? Would I prefer my man to buy me like to pay? Yeah, exactly. Like that sort of thing. And then as time goes on, you kind of, as you become more comfortable, you talk more in depth about other things. But I think it should always be like ingrained in your dynamic, in your relationship from the jump.
I agree.
So it's never, and what's fair and equal, it really is up to you guys, right? Like I hear so many ways that people go about it, and like their marriages or their relationships depends on what you and your partner's income is. If it's like wildly different or the same, or there's just so many ways to do it. But in terms of like like you're just like in a relationship in your young 20s, it's really up to you. And also too, I think especially
most
if you
people
guys
are freaking broke
in
their early 20s.
And it should be in that time just relatively like you shouldn't, like I don't expect so much more from my partner than what he can give.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You should have a realistic understanding of what they're able to provide, and are they willing to provide what they can?
Yeah. And if you're not okay with that and you would rather have someone with more money, then that's your own prerogative.
There's 100% demographic for that.
Right.
And you'll just have to be okay with what is required.
Yeah. But when you're, I don't know, I'm of the mind, like especially if you're in your early 20s, like expecting your man to pay for everything is a little extreme to me. Unless like they like really came up on the come up early in life. Good for them.
Good for them.
But otherwise, I think it's a little extreme. Whether your man or your woman is motivated and is like making a life for themselves and a career for themselves is a whole other thing. Mm-hmm. But expecting them to pay for everything, I think, is a little.
Yeah. Again, we'll have a money episode where we get really into the nuances of money and dating. But I think finances should be talked about more. Yeah. It's the number one reason why people break up. Yeah. So because of that, I think it should just be discussed more. Yeah. What was the question?
How and when to talk about finances, money, and what's fair.
The how we'll have to elaborate on later. Mm-hmm. The when, as soon as you feel comfortable enough to do so. Mm-hmm. It should always be talked about, like you said.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because it's not a big deal. Yeah. It's not a big deal. I don't know why it's like so egregious to be like, oh yeah, I make like $80K a year.
Yeah. No, I've always like, I think Matt and I talked about how much we made pretty early on.
I make $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Like, why is that like pulling teeth?
Right. It's still like a weird, like residual, like taboo thing in America. I feel like because it used to be super taboo to talk about finances or like how much money you make.
I just didn't want to admit that I was poor.
Yeah.
That's a separate issue.
Right. Of course. Like, my pride.
I was like, I have no money. Yeah. I don't have money.
So yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, at all. But now it's nice to talk about, I made $10,000 today.
Yeah. Oh, like, wow.
That's super cool.
Yeah, like, Mr. Influencer.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal anymore. Mm-hmm. I got it.
Oh, whatever. Anyways.
It's a great feeling to have been poor to not be poor anymore. You understand.
Yes, I do.
And the last, definitely not the least question.
Yes. What? Better be a good one.
It is. This is actually like the best one we got so far.
Oh, okay.
Just in my opinion. Mm-hmm. What is it like dating people of different...
that is a fun one.
Again, this one needs its own episode.
Also could use its own episode.
But just in a nutshell, I've come to believe and I've come to understand that most major religions, especially monotheistic religions, are relatively talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just about who and what they call who and what they call.
Right. It's like, which prophet do you follow?
Right. Is it Muhammad? Is it Allah? Is it Jesus?
Yeah.
Is it God?
Right.
Is it Jesus, or not Jesus, but just God?
Yeah.
The Jewish people.
Right.
You know, even like Buddhist people kind of align a lot with Christianity based on like what Jesus is actually teaching. A lot of people are like, well, he was basically teaching Buddhism. I was like, yeah, for all intents and purposes, everyone's just arguing about what happens when you die.
Yeah.
And of course they're going to argue about what happens when you die because no one knows what happens when you die. We just have to hope, trust, and believe that something happens. Right. And so of course we're going to be in conflict, but in this case, love is enough.
I would agree with that. It can be hard in those like faiths to, how do I put this? Because I don't want it to be a judgment of this person's like faith, of how like faithful.
Nah, judge them.
Okay, because
judge them
for sure. Because this is like, my brain is like going as like a former Christian. When you're like in that really hardcore, you can't date people outside of your faith.
Yeah.
So for you to want and be okay, like putting yourself in a place where you are okay with an interfaith relationship, you at least have a very progressive view of faith already, and not like the more traditional. And so like you were saying, it really doesn't like matter. But at the same time, when I'm thinking about like those people who are like Christians, like I could not imagine them.
Diehard.
I could not imagine them not marrying another Christian. Like
and
it would be really hard.
The failure of really religious Christians and stuff like that, especially like Christians specifically. That's the thing I'm most familiar with.
Yeah.
It's very performative. It's super performative.
Yeah.
And they miss the point every time. In the performance, they miss the point.
Yeah.
So if you actually understood what you were performing, you would understand that it's not about
like what you call yourself. Like, yeah.
You know, it's like, do you love this person? Are you with this person? The thing that's hard about different faiths is raising your kid. Like, which one are you going to raise them as? Because that's 100% indoctrinating.
Yeah.
And it matters.
Yeah.
Right? Our mom is going to church every Sunday. We're going to the mosque every Wednesday. Like, that matters.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool, like, depending on how actualized and intelligent you are, you can give your kids the most interesting display of what all religion is trying to get to.
Totally.
Like this beautiful coexistence.
You have a cool opportunity.
Yeah. And let them decide and see what they want to participate in, and really give them the critical thinking that is required to choose what they want to believe.
Yeah.
Like that's a really exciting thing to embark in. But if you're listening to this, no, that's not true. But I'm not gonna like attack the listeners. But for the most part, people that believe so strongly in what they believe aren't aware enough to do that.
Yeah, they're simply not seeking out someone of a different faith to be in a relationship with. So, it like completely goes against. I think even like in today's world, it's people are just less religious. So it's you come across it less, or like it becomes less of a problem. So even like Matt and I come from a Christian background. His family is Jewish, but his family, like they're more like Jewish in like the culture and tradition aspect, less so the religion. And that's on like a lot of Jewish people.
Like the bar mitzvah stuff.
Like they celebrate the holidays out of like tradition and culture.
Kwanzaa?
Hanukkah, there was recently Yom Kippur. There was another holiday.
Yeah, that's quite.
There's a lot of Jews. Like after being with Matthew, like I'm like, damn, y'all really got Jewish people got a lot of holidays.
Between the black stuff and the Jewish stuff, y'all are lit.
No, literally.
Let's go crazy. Nornu's dating a Jewish girl too. So Jew it up. Maybe I'm gonna find a Jew so we can all just like intermingle.
Oh my gosh.
Black and Jews. Kanye was wrong.
We're uniting. Yes, it's wonderful.
The second generation, baby.
Yes.
Mulatto babies. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
But it doesn't, it's as big as a deal as you make it to be.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And if you're a person of faith not caring if you date someone or with someone with a different faith, then it won't be that big of a deal. It'll just be something that you'll have to navigate.
Yeah, and you're probably not that person, so good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Short little episode, sweet and concise.
Short
I
and
love
sweet.
that. I feel like energized from that. That was
literally.
Great. That's kind of crazy.
We're going on and on forever. There is something to be said about a nice, fun little filler episode.
There's also something to be said about our ability to answer questions versus our ability to talk about concepts.
Yeah. What does that mean?
It means that we're way better at answering questions.
Yeah, more concisely.
When we can filter all the information in our brains to one specific point, we're really good at accessing that information.
Yeah, this is true.
Something to think about in the way we frame these episodes.
Yeah, I agree. Well, next podcast party, maybe we'll do another, or actually maybe we'll just Q&A from like source from our social media next time.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
In the next couple months. So hopefully we're on to bigger and better things.
Yes.
Like we said last week.
Exactly.
Let's go. But anyways, that's it for us this week. That was fun. I like that.
Yeah, that was a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed it
I'm
as well.
going to put all these questions and answers into social media posts. So feel free to comment on what you want to comment on and enjoy the discourse because that's fun.
Yeah. And like all those, like, follow, all that good stuff on we.TheIntellectuals to find that. So.
Alrighty. Well, at the end of the day, I'm John.
And I'm Renee.
And we're the Intellectuals signing off until next time.
Bye.